Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you guys from Panama, actually. I'm kind of shook right now. Life just keeps getting crazier and crazier after spiritual awakening, you guys. Like, trust me, it gets better. I'm living proof that it gets better. But anyways, I'm on vacation here for a couple days. I'm so close here to Panama, living in Costa Rica, so I hopped across the border, but I was not going to let this full moon in Aquarius pass without doing a little reading for you guys. I did not want to forget about you guys, so I figured it'd be nice to come down here and just relax by the water and kind of show you guys this place a little bit, and we can go over these updates with this full moon. It's Friday here. There's a lot of partying going on. Hopefully this music is relaxing and uplifting to you, but don't worry, it's gonna be nice and quiet when I do the actual reading part. If you want to skip ahead to the pick a card reading, that's fine, but right now I'm actually gonna talk to you guys a little bit about this energy shift with this new moon in Aquarius. So go ahead and grab some tea or some popcorn or something and relax, and I hope that you guys enjoy these updates. So let's get into it. Okay, so we've got another full moon in Aquarius. So many Aquarius vibes, you guys. And this is a big one. This full moon is a lot more positive, but you might be feeling emotional approaching it, of course, because every full moon is an opportunity for you to release like worries, doubts, and fears, anything that's blocking you from evolving or from moving forward. I feel like this full moon every month is just such a beautiful time and such a natural time to release and to surrender. If you followed my Manifest With Me in March series that I put on the channel, then you learned all about how the full moon helps you to clear those natural worries, doubts, and fears that come up as you're trying to manifest. I think it's normal that when you're asking for changes in your life or you're wanting something beautiful and amazing to happen, that you're going to have some doubts, that you're gonna feel like, I don't know if that's possible, that you're gonna sometimes feel like quitting or giving up. So the full moon is always like a time of a pause. It's always a natural time where you get to just come into yourself and see what's coming up and be able to allow space for it to pass and to flow through you so that you can keep moving forward. If we just go all the time and we're hustling and we don't ever give ourselves that break or that rest, or we don't ever tap into ourselves, then we break down. So the full moon allows you a natural time to just break down, basically. So this is a blue moon also, and I also think it's really cool how this is happening on Sunday, August 22nd. I think that's incredible. It's like a 2-2. That's a really powerful manifestation number. And this full moon is basically going to be highlighting the sides of you that you feel are weird, that you don't want other people to know about, that you want to hide. Oftentimes, it's the weirdest things about you that end up being your gifts, that end up being your magic, that end up being your spark that you get to share with the world. For the longest time, I hid from other people that I was really intuitive, that I was really good at reading people, that I was really emotionally intelligent, that I was good with speech and communication and language and speaking and writing, and I always felt weird about that side of myself. Like, it was something I couldn't control. I loved it. I was obsessed with it. This is just how I am, but it's something we want to hide. So I wonder, what is your thing that you really like, or that you're really good at, but that you're afraid that if you come out and show people, they're gonna judge you because maybe they don't know that you're like that. For me, this channel and this tarot thing was a huge risk to come out and start doing it because people knew me for other things. So this full moon, it's kind of like that. It's asking you to come out It's asking you to be yourself. It's asking you to stop caring what other people think. You know, Aquarius is such a bold energy. Aquarius loves to be unique and loves to be different. And that's a huge part of like the Uranus vibe. Because Uranus is one of the planets that kind of like controls or rules over Aquarius. And so we've got a lot of Uranus energy asking you to be bold, asking you to be different, asking you to come out of hiding, asking you to come out of your shell. And this is like another moon that we've had in Aquarius. We've had a lot of these lately, and it's all kind of coming to just start pulling any strings that are just holding you back in these old energies of hiding, that's holding you back in old energies of like apologizing for yourself, over-explaining yourself, not wanting to come out and be who you are, worrying about what other people think. Like, this is clearing all of it. So that's why you might feel really vulnerable right now, and you might feel like really nervous, like, oh my gosh, I have this idea, I'm getting ready to come out and do this thing, are people gonna accept me? And here's the truth, you know, people are gonna talk crap on you no matter what you do. People are going to make fun of you and think you're strange no matter what you do. That's just the truth. There's always going to be people out there who like to talk bad about other people, who like to point at somebody and look at what they're interested in or what they're doing and judge it and not understand it. And ultimately what matters is that you're in alignment and that you're doing what you love and that you're enjoying yourself in this life. And so I know this is like the most cliche speech ever of just like stop caring what other people think. It's easier said than done, right? But this full moon in Aquarius is really bringing that up, because when you hide yourself and you hide your gifts and you don't walk your true path, the only person you're hurting is yourself, and people are gonna make fun of you either way. So, and you might be surprised too. Maybe sometimes people also will embrace you. You'll make new friends, you'll meet new people by putting yourself out there. So there's a lot to gain, and the people who are gonna talk bad about you, who cares, right? So embrace what you are passionate about. That's something this full moon is helping you to do. Another energy behind this full moon is the vibe of like nothing is impossible. And that is something I've really learned in my life over the past 5 years. If you've been following my channel, you guys will know that I pretty much went from broke, on disability, near homeless, just got out of an abusive situation, totally just life kind of mowed me over, flattened me out, got me down. Bad depression, anxiety. I went from that to doing what I love and traveling the world and living in infinite abundance in just a couple of years. I went through my spiritual awakening, I did the work, I did a lot of healing, shadow work, all that jazz, cleared my chakras, aligned my energy, got that Kundalini rising going on, and here I am. It wasn't easy, but it was possible. It's so possible. If I can do it, you can do it. If you have some big dream, or you have a certain lifestyle you want to live, or you want to make changes in your life, it is possible. But you're gonna have to face your fears. You're gonna have to get uncomfortable. You're gonna have to take risks, and you're gonna constantly have to be reevaluating, is this in alignment? Is this my truth? Am I living in authenticity? You know, that's constantly something that's being reflected back to you. So this full moon in Aquarius is trying to tell you, look, nothing is impossible. A lot of this pain and suffering you've been through, like, you can use that as the catalyst for your greatest good. Sometimes you have to release things. You have to go through a bit of a purification or a realignment in order to move forward. I always say on the channel, like as a metaphor, sometimes old crops have to be cleared to make way for new growth. So you sometimes, like, you gotta allow that clearing process. Don't run from your grieving process. Don't run from the pain. Go into it. That's where you're gonna find your biggest blessing. Another one of my favorite quotes is, if you're going through hell, keep going. It's led you here, and now you realize nothing is impossible. So the next energy, which I think is cool because we had that new moon recently that kind of echoed this sentiment. But another energy behind this full moon in Aquarius is, you deserve the spotlight. You deserve the spotlight. You deserve to shine. You deserve for people to see you doing what you love and shining and glowing for it. You deserve rewards. You deserve recognition. You you're worthy. And I feel like so many people are starting to wake up right now and know their worth. And they're starting to ask for more from life, from the universe, from people around them. And that's a huge thing. Like, some of you guys are going to be called perhaps to ask for a raise, or to charge more, or to stand up and say, you know what, I deserve more. I'm gonna leave this situation and go find another one that's better suited to me. Next level, level up. That's the energy behind this full moon, level up. There's gonna be a lot of career booming right now. You're gonna notice maybe even people you've been following online that you're like, oh my gosh, they're so talented. All of a sudden they announce, oh, I just got signed to this agency. Or all of a sudden they finally launched the book they've been writing forever. You're gonna see a lot of people coming out with like the fruits of their labor. And for those of you guys who are just starting, you will have that boom to be able to get on the path. Some of you guys, yes, you're finally gonna get that fruit, but the rest of you guys will finally be able to plant that seed after like hesitating for so long. So yeah, career booms. There's also gonna be a lot of financial growth around this time. So if you're noticing that like all of a sudden your money's starting to explode, or like there's money coming in, yeah, that's all part of this energy. Take it, use it, invest it in yourself, invest it in your self-care, invest it in your business, or use it to help you go forward. That's what it's for. Something else that's interesting with this full moon is that the masculines are opening a lot more emotionally. By masculines, I mean people who have a more masculine dominant energy. Yes, I'm definitely talking about men. But I'm also talking about people who don't subscribe to a gender, or are somewhere else on the spectrum of gender, or people who identify more masculine. So yes, the masculines are opening up so much more emotionally right now. So any of you guys who are in a relationship with somebody who's like more masculine energy, like you're gonna notice them opening up. You're gonna notice the maybe more like deep heartfelt talks. I also see a lot of masculines starting to approach people for love, for relationships, like stepping out. So there are going to be a lot of people falling in love right now. I think that's really cute. I'm probably going to get a lot of you guys hitting me up with readings being like, oh, I just met this person, what's going on? I've actually already been noticing that. And so yeah, if those of you guys who've been single a long time, just know like there's going to be more opportunities coming in. This is a really big energy shift. Masculines are opening up. Feminines are having throat chakra activation. So if you're someone who identifies a little bit more with the feminine energy, or you're female, once again, it's not about gender, but you might find that your throat chakra is opening more, that it's easier for you to speak your truth, that it's easier for you to show up as yourself fully, and you're also going to find that you're getting a creative boost because your throat chakra has a lot to do with your creativity. So I think that's amazing. This energy is moving really, really fast. Like, a lot is gonna happen between now, this full moon, and the next new moon. Like, that's just 2.5 weeks, and so much is gonna happen. It's gonna feel like you've lived a whole life in just a couple of weeks. So just get ready. Okay, so do's and don'ts for this full moon to end this little section here. Do. Stop caring what people think. Just stop. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Focus on that. Here's another do. Take risks. I said this the last time we had a moon in Aquarius, and I'm gonna say it again. Take risks. Now is the time. Here's another do. Get out in the spotlight. So find a way to show up, take that invitation, go to that open mic and bring your guitar and play your music. Start publishing your vlog, or whatever. Get yourself out there and get out in the spotlight and make it happen. This goes along with the last point, another do. Stop hiding. Stop hiding yourself and your gifts and who you are. Next, this is something I've been talking to my life coaching clients about a lot lately, but it's so important to be consistent because you get back from this universe what you put out. So if you only put in like 3 times a month working towards that goal, maybe on a random Saturday, like when you kind of have time, that's not going to go far. What's going to go further is a little bit every single day. Consistency is more important, you know, and I actually learned this when I was in college. Like, for me at least, when it came to math, because that was my most difficult subject, doing a little bit of my math homework every single day worked really well versus just cramming on like a Saturday before the test. So don't cram with your goals or with your business or with, you know, what your manifestation. A little bit every day. Stay consistent right now, because that's how you're going to see things happen. That's how you're going to get that financial growth and that career boost. And the last thing to do is just release worries. We do that at every full moon. One of my favorite ways to do this is just write down my worries and fears on a piece of paper, and then I like to burn it. Something else I've been doing lately, since I've been spending so much time at the ocean and the sea, is I will like swim out into the waves, and I will just literally say out loud all the things I'm worried about. Maybe sometimes I'll cry, and I'll just like feel the water wash over me, like it's just washing it all away. You can do that in the shower actually if you want to. Create some type of ritual for yourself, just an outlet to let that energy go so you're not ruminating on it. Now, here's what you need to avoid. So here are the don'ts with this full moon in Aquarius. Don't hermit. It's not time to hermit. For so long, through a lot of the readings, I was telling you guys it's time to pull back, it's time to rest, it's time to reflect. It's not time for that right now. It's not time for that right now at all. It's time to go out. It's time to do. This is a very 3D energy. It's less about the 5D and more about the 3D. So grounding, grounding, grounding. Do not hermit right now. Okay, next, do not procrastinate. Okay, do not procrastinate right now. You know, just don't do it. Not now. Next thing, do not get stuck in apathy and indecision. Okay? Do not get stuck in apathy and indecision. Use this full moon energy to tap into your emotions so you know how you feel, so you can get some more clarity and direction on what it is that you desire, and go in that direction, move in that direction. I've been talking a lot about indecision on the channel lately, and oftentimes the reason why we feel like we can't decide between some things is because we're afraid that we'll get rewarded for one decision and we'll be punished for another. Like, that one decision is good and one's bad. But that doesn't really exist in this universe. Like, there really are just actions and consequences. And honestly, whatever you choose, the universe will bless it as long as it's in alignment with you. So sometimes you have to make a choice in order to learn more about if it's the right thing for you or not. Often, and whatever choice you make, the doors that need to close will close, the doors that need to open will open. So sometimes you got to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo and just choose. I've learned that. A lot of you guys are really artistic and really talented, and you don't know, should I choose basket weaving or being a pro basketball player or singing or writing or dancing? And really, you know, choose the one that you feel the most interested in right now. Build momentum and energy and consistency, and you know, the doors will open if they need to open, they'll close if they need to close. And once you get further along that path and you have like a little bit more time open up over here, then you can also do the pro basketball thing. You know what I mean? So it might be time to just choose that one thing and focus on the one thing that's moving forward right now, because don't feel like you're gonna have to let go of other sides of yourself in order to have to do that one thing, if that makes sense. Like, you can find a way to do it all, but right now you might just need to focus on one thing, that one thing that's moving forward. Okay? Last thing, do not be pessimistic and stubborn right now. This is not a time to complain. This is not a time to be pessimistic and think of the worst case scenario and be upset over random stuff. And you know, any contrast that's in your life, obviously allow yourself to grieve it, but don't get stuck on it. You have to be the one that's going to create your own solutions in your life. So yeah, full moon in Aquarius vibes. Okay, my little rant is over. You guys gotta let me know what you think in the comments below. I always love these little full moon and new moon energy checkups and talking to you guys and letting you know what's going on in the energy. But now it is time for you to get a more personalized message about this full moon in Aquarius. So if you'd like to receive this reading, here is the spread that we're going to be covering, and I suggest that you take a screenshot so that you can pull your own cards and follow along with me. And then ground yourself, take some deep breaths, and simply choose a card. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. Once you've chosen, head down below to the comments or the description where the timestamps are posted, and you can just click on your timestamp and instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you guys can be notified of when I post. Sometimes I offer live free readings, so that's why you really want to ring that notification bell so that you will be notified when that happens. And if you're new here, welcome to the Rainbow Fam. I post every new moon and full moon updates, and I post multiple times a week pick a card readings. I do live readings. Sometimes I vlog a little bit too about my travels, and we're all just here to get some word and glow up together and learn a little bit more about the tarot. So welcome to my channel, and I hope you enjoy. Now let's get to your reading. For those of you guys who choose number 1, let's get started with the first part of your spread, which is the card that you chose. And the question is, how will this full moon in Aquarius affect you? And we're getting the dedication card. This goes along so well with what I was talking about in the intro about how important it is right now to stay consistent. And it looks like you're being given the gift of dedication. You will most likely find it easier to stay dedicated to your goals, to your gifts, to your talents during this time. Whenever I see this card, I always find it so interesting how this person has shot all these different arrows out, and it's like none of them have hit their target, and they've tried doing things one way for so long and it just hasn't worked for them. So now, instead of using this bow to shoot the arrows, it's almost like they're using this bow to play it as an instrument. So this could be telling you to find a more creative approach, that this new moon in Aquarius is actually going to help you find creative ways to get things done or to stay dedicated. Now, the next part of the spread is what is required of you to move forward at this point. This is a tough one. We're getting the morning card next to the Hearthfire card. This usually stands for like family, community, friends. I immediately got this impression that there might have been some people you had to let go of. Perhaps these people were, maybe ripped out of your life, or maybe there was like a falling out, or perhaps you moved away or something like that, and you've kind of had to start over with like your group of friends and your community. Maybe for some of you guys, it's because of spiritual awakening, that you went through your awakening and then you realized that a lot of the people that were surrounding you were toxic or weren't serving you anymore. So you had to cut ties, or you had to distance yourself for some people because you were going through all these changes, and now you could be feeling a little bit lonely, a little bit isolated. And this could also be like you were isolated from people just because of what happened in the world the last 18 months. Maybe just that caused a lot of shifts, and now you feel like you're starting over in the friends or in the community department. And so they're telling you what's being required of you is to finally cut the cords with the people you need to cut cords with. It might be time to stop talking crap all the time on your ex-best friend. It might be time to stop hanging on and clinging to your ex. It might be time to move out of living with your narcissistic family. It might be time for you to move away or, from that job that you've been working that's the toxic work environment. Even though like you have all these friends and stuff at the job, it might not be good for you. So everyone's situation here is different. Maybe if some of the scenarios that I mentioned, maybe that applies to you, but I get this message like it's time to cut cords. It might be time to move forward, or to just allow the healing process to finish, so that you can feel safe and comfortable enough to go out there and make some new friends and get involved in a community and enjoy yourself around people again. Sometimes we're hurt and we're burned so badly in relationships and friendships and communities that we want to isolate ourselves and give up. And I know that some of you guys who are watching this are probably more introverted and you do like to spend a lot of time alone, and that's totally fine. But no person is an island. We all need each other. And I say a lot on the channel that oftentimes when you pray or you dream or you set a goal or set an intention, the answer or the help or support can come through another person or through a group of people. So the next part of the spread is, how will this full moon bless you? This is so funny. So we're getting the insecurity card next to the work card. So maybe you've been feeling insecure with your work or with your career or with your job or with your money or financial situation or with the choices you've made in this department, or you're feeling insecure about making a new choice. And so I actually see that this full moon is really going to bless you in that department and help you find more confidence to choose a path when it comes to your work or your skills or your creativity that's really going to support you, that's really you're going to extract value from and bring value to. I know how this feels because I think sometimes when you're choosing to do something unique or different with your job or with your career, it can be really nerve-wracking. Like, I completely understand why some of you guys might be feeling insecure in this department. Some of you guys might be just feeling insecure to make a choice in general. That was a huge thing with the Aquarius full moon I talked about in the intro, with how this is not a time to be indecisive or apathetic. Like, it's time to choose your choice. And this full moon is really going to bless you and help you feel more confident in your career or the choices that you're making. I just have a feeling like if you chose this, you're getting ready to make a new bold choice in this area of your life. And you're getting ready to come out of hiding. You're getting ready to come into the spotlight. And the blessing this full moon is going to bring you is that gift of confidence. And I love that. I love that energy. So next, every full moon is going to call for you to release something. What is one of the things this full moon would like you to release? Balance. Anything that is causing imbalance in your life. Maybe you don't need to go crazy releasing too many things. Maybe it's just one thing that's been off balance lately. Maybe it's your gut. You got to work on your gut health or your stomach. Or maybe, it's something health related. It could also be balancing your emotions, your energies. Emotions are energy in motion. Emotions, energy in motion. What energy are you putting into motion in this world? Are you letting your emotions run wild and just completely dictate everything up and down and up and down? Or are you using your emotional intelligence to allow time for yourself to rest, to express yourself, to get your emotional energies in check? Do not let your emotions rule you. Learn how to control them. And not in such a way to where you are keeping yourself from being able to express your emotions or feel things, but in a way to where your emotions can flow through you, but you don't get stuck in any of the heavier, denser energies. So you're being called to really look and balance right now. What anything that's not in alignment in your life. And next we're getting overall advice. So overall advice, we're getting the frustration card. I love this. I get this intuition that the overall advice for you is to look at where you are frustrated, because that's the area of your life that wants to grow. Are you frustrated right now about your finances? Are you frustrated about your love life? Are you frustrated about your living situation? Are you frustrated because you don't feel like you don't have any me time for yourself? Really ask yourself what is pissing you off right now, what is frustrating you, because that's the area of your life that wants to grow, that wants to improve, that wants to be blessed right now. So frustration, it is a frustrating energy. It's not fun, right? But it can teach you something. It can tell you something. It's almost like the universe is shining a little light there saying, hey, this is the area of your life that wants to grow and that wants to become better, that wants to come into balance. So let's put our attention there and let's work on that. So pay attention to what it is you feel frustrated at. I also feel like this mirrors this card a lot. I guess a bonus message for you would be you have tried so many different things or so many different paths or so many different ideas. You feel like you haven't really hit your target yet, but they're just saying you need a different approach. You need a creative approach. Don't give up, just change your approach. I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you again for your support, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 2, let's get started with your spread. This is the card that you chose, which is the first part of the spread, and the question is, how will this full moon in Aquarius affect you? And you're getting the generosity card. Yes, it's about to go off in your life. Like, the universe is ready to make it rain on you. Your karmic storehouse of wealth and abundance has been built up and up and up because you've just been giving. But now it's time for you to open yourself to receive. Sometimes this is a card about like money coming in, good opportunities coming in, abundance. It's gonna rain, and I guess the message here is that you're worthy. You're absolutely worthy. Open yourself to receive. This is the effect this full moon is gonna have on you. You're gonna feel like, finally things are going my way. Finally I'm receiving. Finally I'm getting that fruit like we talked about in the intro. Finally the sun is shining down upon me. You have to remember that, yes, in this life we have contrast, up and down, hot and cold, dark and light, good and evil. You've had a lot of bad days. Sometimes you gotta allow yourself to have some good ones. And you know, don't think that the other shoe is gonna drop, or that something, you know, don't look over your shoulder expecting everything to fall apart. This upswing in your life is actually gonna last for a little while here. And so you can get comfortable and allow it, receive it. I love that. So next, what is required of you to move forward at this point? And we're getting the Hare, and this is a card that's literally telling you it's time to face your fears. So that is 100% what's required. This is the full moon here. I love how we're getting the full moon symbol on the card. This full moon is asking you to face your fears. So you've been hiding or pulling back because of some fears. Maybe, like we talked about in the intro, it's the fear of what other people think. Maybe it's the fear of failing. Maybe it's the fear of change. I think, honestly, the fear of the unknown and the fear of change is the main thing that we all struggle against. Like, our mind is hardwired and programmed to stay with the status quo and to resist change. So every time we want to make a change, or we try to manifest something, or we try to level up in this life, we have to fight against our instincts that are telling us it's not safe to make this change. So grounding, like, that's why I love grounding affirmations, like, I am safe, I'm healthy, I'm free, I have permission to relax. I am thankful that I have the ability to make changes every day. I'm thankful that I can create a new life whenever I want. Like, those are just some of my favorite affirmations, but like, grounding yourself with those affirmations can really help you and start programming your mind that, hey, I can make a change, I can do something different, I can move forward, I have permission. And that's another thing, that word permission's coming up. I feel like some of you guys are looking around for permission. I know a lot of people come to me for readings because they have ideas, and they sometimes are looking for permission. And I always say, like, yeah, do it, go for it, trust yourself, trust your gut. Like, it is nice sometimes to have someone to bounce ideas off of, but you don't even need that. You can give yourself permission to change, to evolve, to grow, to be different. And sometimes when you're doing that in that process, you need to protect yourself and not necessarily tell everybody what your plans are and what you're going to be doing, because oftentimes it's the people that are closest to you that will kind of put you down or not understand what it is that you're trying to do or the changes you're trying to make. They're just so used to the person that you've been. And so that's why sometimes you got to make your moves in secret. And that's another thing that the rabbit has to do with is maybe being good at hiding, being good at keeping a secret, being good at hiding in the sense of not showing your cards, not telling everybody what your plan is or what your next big move is, and just kind of working in silence. You know, we sometimes get this subconscious, I would say, gratification from going around and telling everybody all these cool ideas and plans we have, but then that ends up causing like this endorphin rush and makes us feel good, even though we haven't actually made that change or done that thing or moved forward with that idea. And then we feel as if we've done it and we never actually do it. We all know those people who are always talking about all these ideas, but they never actually do it. Don't be that person. You know, I feel for that person. I used to be that person. Don't be that person. Face your fear, make it happen, and use the energy of this full moon to propel you forward. So next, how will this full moon bless you? And the first thing I saw here is a move. Some of you guys have been trying to manifest moving or relocating, because the fox has to do with movement and relocation. And this is the breath of life, which symbolizes setting an intention or making a wish. So it might be that you've had this wish, you've had this desire to move or to move out on your own or to purchase your first home or something like that. Maybe some of you guys want to move closer to the city so that you can be connected with more artists, or maybe some of you guys want to move more into nature so that you can ground yourself and live a little cottagecore life or something. I kind of get this sense that there are a lot of you guys who are watching this who are in the process of a move, and this is going to be a huge blessing. So if you are someone who's not desiring to move, or you're really happy where you're at, you've already moved and you're like, that doesn't resonate, then I would just say this has to do with a big move forward. You know personally what your big idea, your big goal, your big dream is at this time, and I just see a lot of movement forward on that. It does feel like our energy was stuck a little bit there for a couple of months while we were doing some more healing and purification and alignment, and I feel like we laid the foundation for this big leap, this quantum leap, this move forward that we're all gonna have, this big boost that we're getting with the full moon in Aquarius. And so that's what these cards have to do with. So next, what do you need to release with this full moon? I see a lot of worry and a lot of fear over whether or not people are going to respect you for some of these decisions you want to make or these moves you're going to make forward. So that whole what other people think thing is coming up again in your cards. This card is urging you to be loyal to yourself. It's pointing over here at this card, which we'll get to in a second. But this respect card is saying that it's time to release, like, worrying if you're going to lose somebody's favor if you choose yourself. Like, maybe it's your parents' approval, because sometimes I talk to clients a lot about this, being worried, oh no, if I become a Reiki healer, maybe I'm going to lose the respect of my fundamentally religious parents. Or if I become a dancer, maybe my really traditional, strict grandmother is going to disapprove of that. Or if I quit my corporate job to start my own business, maybe my parents or my family aren't going to agree with that because they don't think that's like a safe decision to make or something. Like, you could be worried that you're going to lose the respect of people around you, family, friends, or whoever's watching, just by being who you are. And one thing I've learned now that I'm in my 30s, I can't believe I'm in my freaking 30s, you guys, is I'm starting to become more comfortable. Not caring as much what other people think, not worrying about losing respect, because I spent a lot of years in my 20s kind of suffering because I was trying to keep up appearances and I was just trying to do the right thing, like what I thought was right because of, you know, what people were telling me, you should do this, you should do that. And eventually you wake up and you realize you're not living your own life, you're living someone else's, and you got to choose yourself. And oftentimes when you choose yourself, people will disrespect you or won't understand at first, but eventually when you start shining and glowing, of course they're going to come and say, oh, we believed in you all along. It's kind of funny how that works, right? Maybe you're also worried about losing the respect of your friends. It could be that some of your friends are still kind of, I don't know, just I don't want to like diss on anybody's path, but I am getting a vision that some of you guys have a group of friends that are just kind of doing things that are basic with their life right now. They're not making major level up moves, and you're worried, if I start leveling up, are they going to judge me and think like that I think I'm better than them or something? Am I going to lose their respect? And sometimes you're being called to be the first person in your group of friends to level up. Sometimes you're being called to kind of show people the way. And so you have every right to walk your own path. So let's get into these cards here. The final advice for you is to marry your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies together. It's like your final advice is to balance both of these sides. This could even be like a card that's celebrating the fact that you have achieved a lot of balance in both of these areas. And so you're ready to be creative. Like you have the drive, the ambition, and the stamina, that masculine energy to see this through, but you also have the intuition and the clarity and the creativity to come up with the idea in the first place. So they're saying it's time for you to be loyal to yourself right now. Don't worry about pleasing other people. You might have to pull back from people who are codependent on you or depending a lot on you right now so that you can level up in your own life, but it's going to be worth it. And yeah, this is all about being loyal to yourself. So beautiful. I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, we're going to get started with your spread. This is the card that you chose, and the question is, how will this full moon in Aquarius affect you? And we're getting the ancestor. This card is literally you being called to a new path. So if you've really been wanting a change in your life or something new, or you've been trying to carve a way for yourself to go on a new path, then this full moon like kind of heralds in or ushers in this new path for you. So get ready for some big changes. It could be that something unexpected happens that literally pulls you on a new path. My advice for you is to just go with it. It's going to end up being amazing, even if at first things seem like they're falling apart, okay? So next, what is required of you to move forward at this time? I've seen this for a lot of people in the other readings. Seems like a really big message right now is that it's time to cut off the toxic people, the toxic friendships, the toxic family, the toxic workplace, like literally toxicity. Like at this point, you know what's toxic. I just think a lot of us who are empaths, like we're really kind. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We have a really hard time saying no, and we have a really difficult time setting boundaries. Setting a boundary with someone will keep us up for nights because we're like overthinking like what we're going to say and how we're going to explain it. And it's like sometimes we can be a little bit of a doormat. It's like hard sometimes for us to back down. And so I get this message that it's time to walk away. It's time to distance yourself. You have to create space for yourself to level up right now, and the energy vampires just have to go. So what is vampiring your energy, or who is vampiring your energy? That has been made very apparent to you probably over the last month or two, especially after the eclipses. So maybe this card is coming out as confirmation. Like if you already have done a lot of releasing, this could just be telling you, look, stay strong. You have already some new friends and new people and new support coming in to take the place, because energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred. And so I always say, like, when you clear space by releasing toxic connections, you make space for new friends and new experiences. And I don't think we need to be just like releasing people all the time and like being super cutthroat and like having really high expectations for friends and everything, because we're all human ultimately, and it's not about perfection. And some of us sometimes will just be a little toxic because we're going through something and we're learning, we're growing, right? I'm talking about the people that are literally just like can't stop, won't stop, you know, toxic. You know who they are. You know who they are. I'm also talking about maybe toxic things in your diet. I don't know why the diet's coming up, but maybe you continue to eat things that are really weighing you and your energy down, and you have to remember that what you put in your mouth, the food, like that's a frequency, that there's information, like you get downloads from the universe, like when you eat healthy like fruits and vegetables and you drink a lot of water, like you get upgrades and downloads, and it helps raise your vibration and frequency, and that's what you need if you're trying to level up right now. So if you're putting way too much junk food in, it's just going to weigh you down. It's going to cause you to be stuck in old habits and toxicity. So it's time to it's time to detox your life, basically. So yeah, your little catchphrase for this full moon is detox. That's being what's required of you. Detox everything, what you're listening to, what's going in your body, who you're surrounding yourself with. Detox, detox, detox. It's going to be so worth it. Cut the chains so that you're free and you can just fly high. So next, how will this full moon bless you? Some of you guys have really been struggling financially. I'm just going to be real. I've been getting so many DMs, comments, and emails from people asking for more readings about career, finances, business. And don't worry, I'm listening to you guys. I'm definitely going to make more of those. But I think it's because a lot of you guys are struggling in this area. And we can't necessarily blame it 100% on what's happened in the world the past 18 months. That exasperated and kind of showed us, like, if something wasn't working financially or career-wise, it did change a lot of things. And yeah, things are just different now. The world is different now, and it's time for some new ideas. So you're being told to manifest something new. And I think the blessings that this full moon's going to bring to you, and look, here's the full moon, is finally you're seeing a financial return. Finally, you're getting a little bit more money. Like if you had started a business like 6 to 8 months ago or a year ago, like you might start seeing a little bit of a sign that this is starting to move forward. It's going to be slow, but it's going to be something. These struggles are going to lessen. There's definitely been a death in this area of your life when it comes to your finances. There's been something you had to let go of or come to terms with. Maybe some of you guys are in a lot of debt right now and you're just having to like chip away at it little by little. But I definitely see like you're not letting that weigh you down anymore, and you're realizing that you still can create opportunities in your life. You can still think about how you want to move forward. You don't have to let that be the monkey on your back. It doesn't have to own you. You're seeing it more as just like a challenge. It's something that's lighting a fire under your butt, pushing you to create something new for yourself so you can open up the avenue of abundance. So the biggest blessing I see coming through for you is honestly money. And if you're somebody who's watching this who is quite wealthy, because there are people out there who are quite wealthy, and hello to you. This could be maybe you were worried about some of the investments that you made, or like a property that wasn't selling, or a stock or something that went down. And this is you having an opportunity to invest in something new. And I actually think this new investment is going to be you. You are the best and smartest thing that you could ever invest in. And yes, I do see those of you guys who are well off have been making like kind of power moves right now, because it is actually a really great time to buy property. It is actually, there's a lot of wealth transfers going on right now. And so maybe you've just been struggling and been kind of nervous because you're making all these decisions with your finances right now, and you're worried, like, is this the right thing to do or not? But these 2 full moons right here are telling me like maybe 2 more moon cycles, 2 more months basically, and you're going to start seeing evidence that that you're going to get that return on your investments. Like everything is going to be settled, or the paperwork that needs to be signed is going to be signed, the transfer, whatever is going to happen, and then it's going to be like kind of back to normal, if that makes sense. So yeah, big blessings financially basically for everybody all around with this one. So next, what do you need to release? This is interesting. We're getting the seer. I would say release the fear of your spiritual gifts. Everybody has psychic or spiritual gifts. Everybody. For some people, they're stronger than others. Case in point, mine are strong. I think a lot of you who are watching this, maybe you've had a spiritual awakening recently. Maybe your psychic and spiritual gifts are starting to open. Maybe you're having dreams where something happens and then you see it happen in your real life. Perhaps you're getting really strong gut feelings that end up coming true. Maybe you are receiving clairaudient messages, or perhaps your inner knowing or your intuition are just getting stronger. Maybe you're finding yourself drawn to tarot cards. Maybe that's why you're here today. Or angel numbers or animal totems, or studying different religions, or wanting to understand your spiritual side more. And I think your guides are saying release being afraid of that. Also release the feeling that you have to believe a certain thing or you have to go one way. Maybe it's not just one path for you. I just get a sense that you're really exploring your spirituality right now, and it's important that you know that this is a personal process and that you're going to come to your own conclusions about what this life is and what it means to you. And it's important to take information from many different sources, not just one. It's important to look at things from all angles and all perspectives. And I see that your mind is opening, and maybe you're afraid because you were told one thing your whole life about this is how it is and this is what you should believe. Don't be afraid of these psychic gifts or these spiritual gifts that are opening. When they start to open and come, it can be really intense at first. You can feel kind of like you're losing your mind. So it is important to ground. I would suggest spending time in nature, spending time with friends. Don't lose touch with your earthly side. Don't get so spiritual and up in the clouds that you can't just live your life and kick back with your friends, That's, don't go away with the fairies. Don't get delusional. This is just telling you keep your feet on the ground. You can control these things. You can handle it. These gifts and this part of you isn't awakening for no reason. But it is important that you listen to yourself. And if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed or it's too much for you, then reach out for help or support. And like I said, ground, have fun with friends, let go of the spiritual stuff. Don't maybe take a break sometimes from tarot readings or pick a cards. This is telling you just release the fear of this side of you. We are all spiritual people, spiritual beings that are having human experiences. And so it is kind of fascinating, this side once you open up to it, but it's not nothing you need to be afraid of. All right. So overall advice. Walk your own path. Dare to walk your own path. It's funny. I went on a hike the other day here in Panama on this island I'm staying on, and it was so crazy. Like, it was literally so muddy. I had to take off my shoes and go barefoot. I was like knee deep in mud at one point, and it was intense. And at the end of this hike, I was rewarded with this beautiful, remote, gorgeous beach that like no one was at. And I was reminded that oftentimes the most difficult paths lead to the most beautiful places. Carving your own path and taking the road less traveled, it can be very difficult, but it is so worth it. So that's what you're doing right now in your life. You're carving your own unique path, and maybe you're knee deep in the mud right now, but you just keep going and you're going to get to your destination, and it's going to be so, so, so beautiful. So I hope that resonates with you. Thank you for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out.